You think you know cruise ships? Think again. Right now, somewhere in the Caribbean, there's a vessel so large that it has its own zip code. Well, almost. A floating city where over 9,000 souls live, eat, sleep, and play completely unaware of what's happening in the hidden decks beneath their feet. The Wonder of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship. But here's what they don't tell you in the glossy brochures. This ship has enough secrets to fill an entire documentary series. Secret decks you can't access, hidden rooms that don't appear on any map, and a network of corridors beneath the waterline where something very peculiar is happening 24/7. What if I told you that the most expensive suite on this ship isn't the one they advertise? Or that there's a crew member whose entire job is to do something so bizarre, you'd never believe it exists. Today, we're going deep literally and figuratively into the hidden world of the Wonder of the Seas. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at cruise ships the same way again. Let's rewind to where this monster was born, Saint-Nazaire, France. 2019, the Chantiers de l'Atlantique shipyard, the same legendary facility that built some of history's most iconic ocean liners, was about to undertake something that would make the Titanic look like a kayak. The numbers alone sound fictional. 1,188 feet long, that's longer than the Eiffel Tower, is tall 236,857 gross tons. 18 decks above water cost approximately $1.35 billion, but here's the first secret nobody talks about. They built this ship backwards. No, seriously. While most ships are constructed from the keel up, the Wonder of the Seas was assembled in enormous prefabricated blocks, some weighing over 600 tons, like the world's most expensive and complex Lego set. These mega blocks were constructed simultaneously in different parts of the shipyard, then lifted by massive cranes and pieced together. Why does this matter? Because this construction method created something unexpected: void spaces. Small pockets and gaps between sections that technically exist but aren't part of the official floor plans. And we'll come back to those later, because what happens in some of those spaces is, well, let's just say it's not in the brochure. The ship was completed in 2021, handed over to Royal Caribbean International in 2022, and immediately became the crown jewel of their fleet. But the real story, it starts the moment passengers board. Picture this: you're standing on Deck 8, the Royal Promenade. It's a full-scale indoor boulevard running down the center of the ship, complete with shops, restaurants, bars, and even parades. There are windows everywhere, letting in natural light, except ... those aren't windows. Secret number 1, the windows in the interior promenade are actually ultra-high-definition LED screens displaying a live feed from cameras on the exterior of the ship. They even adjust for time of day, weather conditions, and sunset timing. It's essentially the world's most expensive screensaver, and it costs more than most people's houses. Why go through this trouble? Psychology. Cruise ship designers discovered that guests in interior spaces without natural light or the illusion of natural light reported feeling more claustrophobic and spent less money in shops. These virtual windows increase shopping revenue by an estimated 23%. Capitalism, baby, it's always watching. Through fake windows, but here's where it gets weirder. On certain decks, if you pay attention, you'll notice the carpet patterns are deliberately disorienting. They use what's called navigational camouflage, geometric patterns that make it harder to judge distances and walking speed. The result, you walk slower, you notice more shops. You buy more overpriced sunglasses. The Wonder of the Seas isn't just a ship. It's a floating behavioral psychology experiment with a gift shop. The ship is divided into 8 neighborhoods: Central Park, Boardwalk, Royal Promenade, Pool and Sports Zone, Vitality Spa and Fitness Center, Entertainment Place, Youth Zone, and the Suite Neighborhood. But there's a ninth neighborhood that doesn't appear on any official map. The I-95, yes. The ship has a highway, well, sort of. Deck 0, sometimes called Deck, or among crew members, the I-95 is a corridor that runs nearly the entire 1,188-foot length of the ship. It's the crew's main artery for moving supplies, equipment, and themselves from one end to the other without interrupting passenger areas. Here's what makes it secret number 2. This deck operates on a completely different logic than the passenger decks. It's utilitarian, fluorescent lit, and moves faster than you'd think possible. Electric carts zip through carrying everything from fresh towels to industrial kitchen equipment. It's like the backstage of a Broadway show, completely essential, absolutely hidden. But the I-95 isn't just for logistics. Deep in this corridor system, there are spaces that would blow your mind. The ice rink secret. You know that full-size ice skating rink on Deck 4? Beneath it is a massive refrigeration system and a workshop where ice show costumes are stored, over 10,000 pieces requiring constant repair and maintenance. There's a team of 3 people whose entire job is costume management for the ice shows. The plant nursery, Central Park, features over 20,000 real, living plants and trees. They don't tell you there's a dedicated nursery below deck where replacement plants are constantly being grown under UV lamps. The nature you see is rotated on a schedule, kind of like how museums rotate delicate art to prevent damage. The Bread Lab. This ship has a dedicated bakery that produces over 3,000 bread items daily. But beneath the main galley is what crew members call the Bread Lab, a climate-controlled room where dough is prepared 24 hours before baking, with temperature and humidity regulated to the decimal point. Now, let's talk about the ultimate family suite. Royal Caribbean loves to advertise this one, a 2-story suite with a slide, a private cinema, and a price tag of around $80,000 per week. Impressive, right? Wrong, because that's not actually the most exclusive accommodation on the ship. Secret number 3, there's a suite that's never been advertised, never appeared in promotional materials, and is by invitation only. The crew calls it the Owner's Sanctuary, or sometimes just OS. Located at the very forward section of Deck 16, this suite was originally designed as a testing ground for future ship designs, a way for Royal Caribbean executives and VIP guests to experience experimental luxury features before they're ruled out fleet-wide. What's inside? Here's what crew members have leaked. A private balcony that's 3 times larger than standard suites. A retractable glass floor section that lets you see straight down into the ocean. An on-demand sommelier, not just wine service, a human being assigned exclusively to you. Biometric access controls. And this is the kicker, a panic room. Yes, a panic room on a cruise ship. Why would you need a panic room on a cruise ship? Well, remember those void spaces we talked about earlier? Apparently, in the event of certain emergencies, these spaces can be sealed off and supplied with independent ventilation. The Owner's Sanctuary has direct access to one. This suite isn't sold, it's granted, and it costs. Well, nobody really knows. Estimates range from $200,000 to $500,000 for a week. But you know what's even more fascinating than what's above deck? It's what's below the waterline. Most passengers never think about the bottom of the ship. That's by design. But beneath your shuffleboard court and your Instagram-worthy pool photos, there's a world that operates with military precision. The Wonder of the Seas has 4 bow thrusters and 3 azipod propulsion units. Together, they draw from diesel generators, producing 70 megawatts of power, enough to power a small city. But here's secret number 4. The ship is never truly off. Even when docked, the systems below deck run continuously. We're talking desalination plants producing 300,000 gallons of fresh water daily, from seawater waste treatment facilities processing sewage for 9,000 people, more advanced then some municipal systems ballast water management systems, constantly adjusting the ship's balance. Fire suppression networks monitoring thousands of sensors. There's a team of engineers who work exclusively below Deck Zero in spaces most crew members never visit. They work in 6-hour shifts because the noise levels and heat are so intense that longer shifts would be dangerous. And here's something that'll make you think twice: the ship's morgue. Yes, with that many people on board for extended periods, statistically, someone will pass away during a voyage. The Wonder of the Seas has a small mortuary facility, refrigerated and discreet, located in one of the most remote sections of the lower decks. It's morbid, sure, but it's also practical in a way that highlights just how much of a self-contained city this vessel truly is. Let's shift gears from the dark secrets to the sneaky ones. The Wonder of the Seas is designed to manipulate you. Not in a villainous way, more like a benevolent puppeteer gently guiding you toward maximum fun and maximum spending. Secret number 5. The Cocktail Conspiracy. Notice how bars are positioned. They're never at dead ends. They're always at intersection points, places where foot traffic naturally converges. The Bionic Bar with its robotic bartenders? It's positioned so you'll walk past it minimum 4 times a day if you're following the typical cruise flow. And those robots, they're not just a gimmick. They mix drinks with algorithmic precision, ensuring every mojito has exactly the same amount of rum, lime, and mint. The consistency drives repeat customers. You know what you're getting every time. The casino placement, located adjacent to the main theater. Why? When shows let out, you're funneled past slot machines in a semi-euphoric state. You just saw a great show. And studies show people are 40% more likely to gamble when in a positive emotional state. The gym's secret window. The fitness center has floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the pool deck. Genius, you see people having fun while you're on the treadmill. It creates FOMO, fear of missing out, and subconsciously trains you to choose the pool over the gym next time. Everything, and I mean everything, is engineered. Here's what ultimately fascinates me about the Wonder of the Seas. It's not the technology or the luxury, it's the people. Over 2,300 crew members from 70 countries keep this floating city running. They work contracts of 6 to 9 months straight, living in crew quarters that are, let's say, efficient. Secret number 6. The crew has their own secret life. While you're enjoying your vacation, the crew has created an entire parallel society below deck. Crew bar alcohol costs about 1/10 of passenger prices. Crew gym actually better equipped than the passenger gym. Ironically, crew mess cafeteria-style dining with cuisine from around the world. Internet cafe, because crew Wi-Fi is free but painfully slow. There are relationships, friendships, and even marriages that happen among crew members. There are crew-only parties, karaoke nights, and birthday celebrations in mess halls at 2 a.m. And there's one job on the ship that absolutely baffles people when they find out: the full-time ice carver. Yes, someone's entire job is to create ice sculptures daily for buffets, special events, and themed dinners. This person went to culinary school, specialized in ice carving, and now travels the world on a cruise ship creating frozen art that melts within hours. If that's not the most beautifully absurd job in the world, I don't know what is. So, what's the ultimate hidden secret of the Wonder of the Seas? It's not a room, it's not a technology, it's not even a clever design trick. It's this: the ship is designed to make you forget you're on a ship. Everything, the neighborhoods, the fake windows, the Central Park with real plants, the Broadway shows, the ice rinks, all of it exists to create what cruise designers call place dissociation. You're supposed to forget you're on 230,000 tons of steel floating in the middle of the ocean. And when you do, remember, when you stand on deck 15 at sunset and look out at the endless horizon, that's when the magic actually happens. That's when you realize you're experiencing something humans have done for millennia, crossing the sea, but in a way that would have been pure fantasy to anyone living even 50 years ago. The wonder of the seas is many things: an engineering marvel, a psychological experiment, a floating hotel, a small city, a marvel of logistics. But mostly, it's a reminder that humans are really, really good at building impossible things and then pretending they're normal. And somewhere, right now, on Deck Zero, someone is driving an electric cart full of towels down the I-95, a team is rotating out trees in Central Park, and an ice carver is creating a sculpture that'll be gone by morning. The ship sails on, secrets intact. If you made it this far, you're clearly as obsessed with hidden worlds as I am. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button because we're doing deep dives like this every week. Next up, the secret economics of luxury hotels and why your room costs what it costs. Drop a comment telling me, would you take a cruise on the wonder of the seas now that you know what's really going on? Or are you thoroughly creeped out? And if you know someone planning a cruise, send them this video. They need to know about the fake windows. I'll see you in the next one. Keep wondering, keep questioning, and never trust a window on a cruise ship.